Darpa – How Robots Destroy the World. Military Robots USA. The U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, has a reputation for working on some of the most cutting-edge, futuristic projects, many that could easily be mistaken for science fiction. Keep watching to find out more. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, is an advanced technology branch of the U.S. Department of Defense. The purpose of the agency is to try out new technologies and make them operationally ready, if possible, and to reach beyond current military technology to do something new. DARPA imagines and makes possible new capabilities for overcoming the multifaceted threats and challenges that lie ahead. This makes a better, more secure future possible, the agency wrote on its website. Precision guidance and navigation, stealth, unmanned aerial vehicles, night vision, and communications and networking are among the technologies that changed the face of war over the last 2 decades. History of DARPA. The agency that became DARPA was created after the Soviet Union launched the Sputnik satellite in 1957. The first satellite sent to space sparked a wave of worry that the United States was falling behind technologically. First called the Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA's first priority was to assert the United States' military presence in space. At the time, the space race was in full swing. NASA was sending astronauts on ever longer and more complicated missions to bring crews to the moon, which it succeeded in doing between 1969 and 1972. Lately, DARPA has been involved in various projects, which are just as mind-boggling as they are interesting. So, let's have a look at a few. From humanoid robots to flying armored cars, here are 10 of the coolest DARPA projects. WILDCAT and BIGDOG. As their names suggest, WILDCAT and BIGDOG are 4-legged, headless robots designed to walk, run, and carry heavy loads through potentially dangerous terrain, much like deployed troops. DARPA awarded contracts to Boston Dynamics to develop WILDCAT and BIGDOG for use by the military. BIGDOG, created in 2005, is 3 feet or 0.91 meters long and stands 2.5 feet or 0.76 meters tall. The robot, which is roughly the size of a small mule, is capable of hauling 400 pounds, 181 kilograms of cargo, and can navigate difficult terrain and inclines up to 35 degrees. WILDCAT, however, is quicker and more agile. The robot can gallop up to 16 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour on flat surfaces, and is part of a DARPA mission to develop robots that can assist human soldiers on a variety of ground missions. Avatar Project. Sometimes life imitates art, as is the case with DARPA's project to develop interfaces that enable soldiers to control and partner with semi-autonomous bipedal machines that act as the soldier's surrogate. Sound familiar? Hollywood director James Cameron explored the idea in his 2009 blockbuster hit Avatar. In its 2013 budget, DARPA allocated $7 million to its Avatar project, which could enable soldiers to control surrogate robots in dangerous combat situations. EXCALIBUR. To reduce the amount of collateral damage in war, particularly during battles fought in urban settings, DARPA is developing laser weapons that are small and efficient enough to be used in combat. These experimental laser weapons will be 10 times lighter than existing high-power laser systems currently in use, DARPA officials have said. The lasers, developed for airplanes, may also be used for laser communications, target designation, and airborne self-protection, agency officials added. FALCON Project. DARPA's FALCON project was announced in 2003 as a joint program with the U.S. Air Force. The project aimed to develop a reusable, unmanned, rapid-strike hypersonic vehicle. A prototype Hypersonic Technology Vehicle 2, or HTV-2, first flew in April 2010, and again in August 2011. The ultra-fast, arrow-shaped drone flew at blistering hypersonic speeds of Mach 20, about 20 times the speed of sound, more than 22 times faster than commercial jetliners. During the flight, surface temperatures on the vehicle reached 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1,930 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than a blast furnace capable of melting steel. During both test flights, operators lost contact with the HTV-2 prototypes. In July 2013, DARPA confirmed it would not conduct a third flight of the HTV-2, but research on the project will continue to gain better understanding of hypersonic flight. Transformer. Imagine a militarized version of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. This is the thrust of DARPA's Transformer project, which aims to develop a flying armored car. The four-person vehicle will be able to drive normally, but also take to the skies to avoid road obstructions or other threats on the ground. The vehicle is being designed to take off and land from the vertical position and will be able to fly up to 250 nautical miles on a single tank of fuel. Eventually, these flying tanks may be used for strikes, raids, counterinsurgency operations, reconnaissance, medical evacuation, and supply missions. Atlas. DARPA's Atlas project was revealed to the public on July 11, 2013. The bipedal humanoid robot stands 6 feet tall, or 1.8 meters, and is designed to assist with a range of emergency services, including search and rescue operations. The U.S. Department of Defense is not interested in using the Atlas robot in combat situations, officials have said. Atlas was developed by Boston Dynamics and was based on some of the company's earlier robot creations. Navigation chip. Advances in GPS technology revolutionized tracking and navigation, but what about areas where GPS is unavailable or the signals are interrupted? To help soldiers find their way around areas of GPS blackout, DARPA researchers are developing a tiny navigation chip that is smaller than a penny. The so-called Timing and Inertial Measurement Unit, or TIMU chip, incorporates 3 gyroscopes, 3 accelerometers, and a highly accurate master clock into a single miniaturized system that can provide precise information for navigation, including orientation, acceleration, and time. DARPA officials have said the navigation chips will not replace GPS, but rather are designed to work when GPS is unavailable or doesn't work. X-37. The Boeing-built X-37 reusable spaceplane started as a NASA project in 1999, but was eventually transferred to DARPA in 2004 before the Air Force took control of the project 2 years later. The unmanned X-37 orbital test vehicle, which resembles a miniaturized version of the Space Shuttle, rides into orbit atop a rocket and returns to Earth and lands as a spaceplane. The X-37 launched on its first orbital mission in April 2010. Previously, DARPA reported it was developing the X-37 to rendezvous and refuel older satellites or perform minor repairs in space using a robotic arm. Speculation mounted, however, that the X-37 was being used by DARPA and the Air Force as a vehicle for space-based weapons. In 2010, a high-ranking Air Force official involved with the project dismissed the rumors and stressed that the X-37's main purpose is to test space technology. Brain-machine interfaces. Imagine if your brain could communicate with an external device, such as a thought-controlled mechanical arm or a device to restore sight. DARPA researchers are investigating potential communication pathways between the human brain and machines to build, assist, augment, or repair human cognitive or sensory motor functions. Research on these so-called brain-machine interfaces began in the 1970s, and work by DARPA researchers is focused on neuroprosthetics that aim to restore damaged sight, hearing, and movement. One of DARPA's brain-machine interface projects is Proto-2, a thought-controlled prosthetic arm. Proto-2 consists of a dexterous hand and fingers that can perform 25 joint motions. MICROSCALE pumps. DARPA-funded researchers created the world's smallest vacuum pump system that can be used for any electronics or sensors that require a vacuum. In 2008, DARPA's chip-scale vacuum micropumps, or CSVMP program, set out to develop the smallest, most power-efficient pumps ever created. The vacuum pumps could be used to build tiny chemical sensors, such as ultra-sensitive gas analyzers to detect chemical or biological attacks, or to design new sensors or instruments for microdrones. The penny-sized vacuum pumps were created by researchers at the University of Michigan, MIT, and Honeywell International. Iris. One of the most audacious DARPA robot projects of all time is codenamed Iris. It is a chip that can be installed in smartphones. However, unlike smartphone chips that have just 4 cores, Iris has 168 cores, and it would be programmed with artificial intelligence to supposedly match the human brain. Through this chip, the Pentagon plans to enable robots and drones to learn in real time, without any human input. The Defense Department has tried to reassure the public and nervous observers that its robots and AI will still be limited and accountable to humans. We're very clear that the lethality decision should always be made by a human, Walker said. But we can develop technology for the human warfighter to make his decisions more quickly and effectively. That's all for today, folks. See you another time.